To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave para peeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is the Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Sean Whittington. I'm a seminarian in the United States Old Catholic Church, and thank you so much for showing up. I don't have a show without all of you, so God bless you all for taking an hour out of your busy Monday to hang out. If there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. Anything you want to know about us is there. And if there's something you want to know about us and it's not there, call me. I'm an open book. I'm easy to talk to. I'm approachable. Just reach out to me. So this is the last Monday of the month. And you know what that is? That's right. It is Happy Medium Monday. So this is how we roll tonight. There will be no mediumship, conjuring, just psychic readings. If you need conjuring, I'm sorry, if you need, yeah, we all need conjuring. If you need mediumship work from my very special co host tonight, reach out to her after the show at her website, which is www.capecodhappymedium, all one word, .com. Tonight is just psychic readings. Try to limit them to one question per person so we can get to everybody. And we're going to take questions like, romance, love, employment, health. If you're going to do some traveling, things like that. And we don't take calls. So if you're watching, you can only get your free psychic reading tonight if you're watching live. And you just type your question in to the chat room. My very talented producer, Zach Clayton, will put it up on the screen. My co host will read it, and she'll give you your psychic reading. Pretty simple. So, are we ready to go? I know I am. Live from Cape Cod, Cape Cod's only live on air psychic radio personality. I've known her forever. I love her. So gifted, so talented. Please welcome to the show the one and only, my co host, Susan AHEARN. Howdy.
How are you?
In the famous tone from an old Seinfeld show. Hello, Susan. Um, Hi.
Hey, what's up?
So I don't know. We may get 100 calls. We may get one call.
We
We
don't
never
get
know
any
what happens.
calls.
We never know what's going to happen on Happy Medium, and we always have, I my Tonto to my Lone Ranger is my wife who always watches. She always makes sure she watches at least this show every month, and she's all, well, I like to wait and see just how many people need Susan, and if there's not very many, then I
Oh,
have a question. I'm all, okay. Well, just write it down and be ready later on if we don't get a lot of people calling in. But what do I want to talk to you about until
there's
we?
always something to talk about, too.
Yeah,
We always have good topics. So,
I want to tell you how popular that episode was where I had you and the whole mass haunting team on. Very popular. Probably one of the, if not the most popular episode of the Paranormal Ministry this year.
ooh,
So much so that last Monday, when I took Monday off for personal reasons, Zach replayed that episode, and I'm still getting people reaching out to me talking about that episode. So, give my best to the team. I plan to have you all back on again. That was quite a juggling act to get you all together at one time for that. And I probably will, I've had you on, I've had Daniel on. I'll probably reach out to the other team members one at a time, pull them on here because individually they're all such great people and cool to talk to. So, um, and I kind of, it's tough on a 1 hour show to do mediumship work. It takes a lot more. First of all, ghosts don't act on command. If someone calls you and needs you to talk to Aunt Betty because she just passed away, does she have a message for me? It takes a lot of time and energy for you to channel and reach out to spirit. And then those questions always lead to quite a few more. And then you end up, you know, uh, missing out on giving readings to some people that might um, really need some advice on something. But I know you are like a spirit magnet. So if there's any spirits floating around that say, "Oh, hi, just wanted you to know I'm here and I have a message for you, yada yada yada." Feel free to, I know how spirit are too. Feel free to
Hmm.
throw a message out from
Yeah.
spirit if that happens to you
Okay.
tonight. Um,
Well, there's a spirit in the office. I didn't want to let anybody know in the office because I share the office with other people. So I didn't want to let them know that there was somebody around, looking around. And then my daughter told me that she goes, "Oh, the ghost is playing with the door," and I never mentioned it to her because I don't want to freak anybody out. And yeah, the ghost has been opening the door, and it's a punch key lock. So I don't know how he's doing. He's pretty good, if that's because I can't even remember the number sometimes. And yeah, so there's something here in the building. It's attached to the land. So it's not actually the building, which people go, how does that work? So um, whatever was here before, because things have been here for a lot, well, not really New England, but out west, things have been out there for a long time. And we just have um, residual, whatever's residual on the land. Whoever owned this land before has left something behind. It was very proud of this property, was it feels like more of a caretaker type energy. He's kind of walking around kind of assessing, who am I? Why am I here? It feels a little confused, like who, like who are you? So they're stuck in their time loop continuum, and they're not upgrading because they can't jump into our, well, he can walk through my timeline, but he can't understand it because this is all foreign to him. And he's just kind of confused, but he just then continues to go on his loop. So I don't really know. I haven't spent enough time to talk to him. Sometimes I see so many that it's like if I talk to everybody, I would be exhausted. So um, but yeah, he seems to be nice, so which is cool. So if he shows up tonight, hello, hello.
that's a great question. See, I'm already psychically in tune with my wife. I was going to ask you about the puppy and ask you what did you do on Friday, which was National Dog Day.
Yes, you know what? I didn't even post anything about him on National. I felt like a very bad new mom, but
I actually went to your profile to look,
yeah, I
and I
did.
didn't see anything, and I didn't.
It was so big. I've been so busy. Like, we're putting together well, the dog is fine. My pup Winston is doing great. He's 65 pounds at 5 months old. And so he's doing great. He's growing big and
Since they grow so fast, and I've had mastiffs all my life and a couple of Great Danes, I would wait till they're about a year and a half before you get the saddle.
bright. Yeah. You can't get anything for them. Like his collar, I just every week I make it bigger whether he needs it or not, because in 3 days he's gonna grow into it. So it's like, oh. So, but he's doing good. Um,
Well, that's a good question. Hi, Sita. Sita, Rita, Leola, Innes, Haverty Ramsey.
whew, say that fast.
um, can a ghost follow you from place to place? I'm gonna let you. You're the co-host, and I'm gonna let you wing the answers.
All right. Yes, Sita. I'm gonna go with Sita because I don't that your first name. We'll go with Sita. Um, yeah, they can follow you. So if you've had a house that had ghosts and you've moved, they can follow you there. If you work in a location that has spirits, energy, entities, they can follow you from that work and you can bring them home. If you're on a ghost investigation, you can bring them home from that as well. So it's really important to um, close up your energy when we do investigations. We seal ourselves up. I remind the team, don't forget to seal yourself up before we go into the investigation, because we all arrive at different times because we're all from all over. And so seal yourself up and then cleanse yourself when you leave. And And sometimes that's hard because you're exhausted. It's 3 o'clock in the morning and you forget that step. And when you forget that step and everybody else's, our energy's low, it's a perfect time for a ghost to come in, settle in, get comfortable. They love the energy, they love the light that we bring in. Um, and they'll find a little hole in your energy field and make their way in, get comfortable, and you can bring them back to your house. So yeah, that's totally possible. Thank you for that question.
That was a cool question. Hi, Charles. Susan, will my journey speed up in the near future, such as finance?
All right, let's look and see. So your guides are talking to me. They're kind of overseeing what's happening at the moment. They were saying that you have feel like you are personally on a pause, and I don't know if that's because you're afraid to move forward, or you're just in a place right now where um, you're making careful assessments. So either way, yes, you are going to move forward. There's a lot of unknowns right now. This is the stranger card. And I feel like you're the Joker. This is the liar card that you're either not trusting. It doesn't necessarily mean liar, but you're just not trusting of something that's happening. And so take your time, connect with your guides, connect with what's happening, go with that internal um, gut feeling, because they say that you're good with that. I get the yes on that. So you can make the right decision. You're just questioning. It just feels like maybe something's taking longer than necessary. And I don't think it's personal. I just think that that's what's happening with the planet. So, um, yeah, take your time. But yes, it will. And you'll be able to make the right decisions. Uh, and the now card. So it's closer than you feel or closer than you think that you have to make these decisions. So not to worry. You will do well.
Thank you for the question, Charles, and I'll add you to the prayer list tonight. And I hope everything works out for you.
Yeah.
Um, Ghosts, only because we are just what are we, a couple of months away from Halloween? Yeah,
Right.
we're at the end of August, so yes, a couple of months away. Um, I hate to use the word controversial, but I'm just going to throw that out there. That's a really controversial topic right now is just ghosts in general. And you know me, I'm all over the place in my life. You know, I wear a lot of different hats. And there's people in my field that believe there's just angels and demons. There's people, and they believe that these, what we perceive as ghosts, are demons tricking them. And I do believe in my lifetime I have, you know, been fooled a few times. I do believe in ghosts. Many people don't. Um, what's your take on ghosts?
I see dead people. So they're there, you know. Um, they do. So let's go with like the tricking part. What kind of ghosts? There's many different kinds. They're not just like a rubber stamp ghost. You have um, you have your intelligent ghost that can tell you factual things. Like that time when we I was doing an investigation and I was going through my routine getting ready for um, the investigation, and the ghost several later into the investigation says um, that through the voice the spirit box said that he saw me in the shower. And I'm like, "You little stinker." Because I felt somebody present, and I always thought I wasn't even there yet, and he was able to connect with me. So that was interesting to me. I always thought that that was very now that's intelligent when they can say, "I was watching you earlier." And I was like, "Were you watching me in the shower?" And he was like and then that creepy, "Yes." It was like, "Ugh." So, I still take showers before investigations, but
Hi, Charles. Delta Paranormal, Charles. I have a case between two sisters. One passed away 2 years ago, and the live sister is being haunted by her, and now we think she, said dead sister, stole from mom,
mm,
and mom thinks she did it.
okay. So there's a little bit of animosity going on between the two sisters.
And
Okay.
that sometimes it's interesting how that stuff can carry on over
It
after
really
death.
can.
And that holds a spirit here.
Hmm.
That
Greed does too. So there's a theft, there's a possession, people that possess cars. Like I see that a lot. Guys that love their vehicles more than their wives, they will stay with their vehicles. It's crazy. Houses, people that really think that this is my house. This is my house. Get out. It's they're possessing an item, and this dance between the two sisters, dead or alive, it's still happening. I mean, this animosity has probably been going on between the two of them for a long time. And the best thing you can do with that is to have the live sister just totally disconnect. Like, you know how you have to, sometimes you have to get rid of a bad friend, and say, I don't want to talk to you anymore. This isn't working for me. This isn't a healthy relationship. It's the same thing with this, with the dead sister, is that you just say, the live sister has to go, this is no longer healthy. I do not allow this bad behavior. This is inappropriate. Um, whether she did or not, whether there was a theft involved and it was actual, um, she can still disconnect from the sister that's not alive. um, we give family members extra permission to be inappropriate, when we lower our boundary standards for families, and so sometimes that needs to be kicked up. But karma will get whomever took whatever, on any level. I think the pain and suffering then goes to the person who did the injustice, either through life or in death. And so, if the sister really doesn't want to be bothered, she can then disconnect from that energy. But she has to be, that's a messy one. That's like a ghostly domestic. I don't like those on any level. So good luck with that one.
Oh, this is from the Button Monkey. The Button Monkey, just so people know, started monkeypox. Can conflict during a funeral cause a loved one to not move on?
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Yes. That drama is just so um limiting. Ugh, it's just, yeah, it'll keep the person from moving on, and it keeps the suffering. It perpetuates the suffering for everyone involved. And so the most important thing is if your loved one is dying, is to have that beautiful, peaceful conversation to say, enjoy the journey, go, be free, let go of what's here, and go enjoy what's coming for you, your next adventure. Um, they'll come back and tell you, thank you so much for that. And you'll it for everyone involved, they need to go on. It's their next, it's like graduating, everybody gets to graduate, and you wouldn't want to hold anyone back from graduating because of your own selfish need to possess. Once again, it's possessing things that aren't ours. Nobody is ours. Nothing is ours. Everything is here to borrow for a short period of time. And if you don't appreciate it and love it and abuse it, you're going to lose it, and you won't get that. And then the suffering for you on the other side is, oh, I really took advantage, abused and misused the things that I got as gifts on this planet as we know it. So,
Charles, spot on, and thank you, Susan, and thank you, Rev,
oh,
for the prayers.
thank you, Charles.
Got it, brother. Anytime. Reach out to me anytime you want, Charles.
Yeah, vice
Um,
versa.
I throw people's like the regular show I do during the month, Mondays and Fridays. I get people send me prayers or prayer requests, I should say, all week long, and I throw them in prayer urn, or the urn that I got, and I call it now a prayer urn. And then I pull, I always leave a few in there for the show and pull a prayer out. But I'm dipping in that urn all week long in contacting people, whether it be, um, a video chat on Facebook or Zoom or Skype or phone call or even just private message. Let them know I've got your request and I've added you to the prayer list, and this is the prayer I'm going to offer up for you. So just anybody out there that needs prayer, that's a give me. You can reach out to me or Susan and ask for prayer, and we will be more than happy to. I know what I want to ask you. I have a question for you, not a psychic question, but like earlier in the green when we were chatting before we went live, and you talked about how people don't come over anymore. You're having difficulty getting people to your house because you've got ghosts there,
Yeah.
and you're sitting in a workplace that's haunted. The animal hospital. I'm not going to say the name of it. It's haunted. Everybody there knows that it's haunted, and they used to blame me. Well, they know my wife's extremely
Mhm.
sensitive spirit. She's a spirit magnet, and then
Mhm.
they know what I do, so they used to blame us for the hauntings there.
Don't
And
we
then
get blamed for everything?
yeah,
Yeah.
and so we're the original. It's not you, it's me.
Yeah,
People,
right.
but um, then I had to remind everybody long before my wife and I came to work here, the owner of this clinic was having issues because he lived there. When he took that clinic over, he didn't have his home built yet, so he lived in that clinic, showered there, ate there, slept there for quite some time. So he talked about the experiences he used to have there in this clinic. But it got so bad to people, wanting to leave shifts early if they heard a story or if something weird happened, or, if something weird happened to them one day, they didn't want to come to work the next day. Um, and then the talk started snowballing, and the people just, you know, right in the middle of busy times of the day wanted to sit around and tell ghost stories. So he kind of put the kibosh on no more ghost stories.
Good.
Um, how do you handle that? I don't, friends, family, neighbors, nobody comes around here anymore because they know. And I, I took it quite well. I kind of rolled with the punch. Not really a big deal. I understand. Um, how is that for you? And do you, how do you handle that?
Um, well, I need someone to be able to stay at my house and watch Winston while he's a puppy, so it was hard. It was hard to get someone to stay overnight because of the thumping and bumping around that goes on that I don't even hear anymore. Um, and it's hard for me to say, "Oh, don't worry about it."
Are you honest like with a real estate person selling a haunted home? Do you hide that, or are you honest ahead of time with somebody like I need you as a dog sitter, but
I think everybody knows. Like, and even the question was, "Oh, what's her house like?" You know, "Oh, you went over there. What does it look like? What's it like inside?" Like, is it haunted or so I think people just assume or expect it to be. And then sometimes I see when I am interviewing people for their investigating their house. Well, this happened and that happened. Well, that could have been just the wind or regular. This just fell over because you left it in the funny position, or So sometimes it's just not a ghost, and it's just stuff happens. Just natural stuff happens. Um, Gravity brings things down. And then there's the weird stuff that we all know is just not, and it's a ghost, like, stuff at your house, like, it's just a ghost, and that's the way it is. So, I can't make people feel comfortable, but I try to. It's just I don't know.
paranormal discovered whales. Cool. Whales.
Mm.
My name is Barbara. Hi Barbara. Could do a could do with a prayer. I have a cancer procedure in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Barbara, hold on.
Thank you for reaching out, Barbara.
First of all, let me put a blessing on you, Barbara, and may the Holy Spirit enter and intervene in your life right now and wrap its arms around you and remain with you for your procedure tomorrow and remain with you on the remainder of this journey and on to the next. God bless you. And I'm going to write your name down right now, Barbara, and I will add a prayer for you.
Good. And don't forget, Barbara, when you go into procedures, would it be anything, um, invite your guides, invite the spirits that are there to help you and to guide you through this journey at this time to be with you. And that's huge. Anytime I've ever had a procedure, I've always invited them to come and be with me and to oversee the people that are doing the procedure, talk to their guides, to talk to, so you make sure the doctor's on spot, and you really can open up. It's an amazing thing, so that the nurses that show up in the morning are fresh and ready to go, and that everything moves smoothly as you go through your procedure, so that everything is aligned perfectly.
Yes, well, you'll be in our prayers and in our thoughts tonight, Barbara, I promise. Yeah, ghosts. Funny thing that Mike, yeah, there's been some crazy things happen here at the house too. Workers that have come here. I had ghosts. That's the only thing I can think of. Called. Did I tell you the 911 story
I don't
from
think
here?
so. No, I don't think
Ghosts
so.
called 911 from here once.
Shut up.
I don't know why.
That's
My
crazy
Sharon was
too.
working. This is when, first of all, Sharon's a workaholic, and
Oh, you
I think
both are.
I think at
Hello.
this time she had like 3 jobs, and she was a special usher at the MGM Grand. I'll finish the story later. Well, let's get to Charles. Hi, Charles. To me, ghost is just a name from my experience. They are called many things. They were jealous of each other, and she had dresses of hers that she knows does not like. That's funny.
Oh, you get your hands full, Charles.
Yeah.
I don't know, but definitely call me if you need a backup. But you sound
Charles,
like
you
you
can
have.
reach out to Susan after the show at www.capecodhappymedium.com. Yeah, you've got your handfuls there. But
Mm,
Sharon was out working I think she was working a concert. She was many years a special usher at the MGM Grand Hotel. She was
mm,
working a concert
fancy.
there, I believe. And I went to go say goodbye to some friends that were going back to England. I had 3 mastiffs at the time that were in the home, and I come home. I pull into my driveway, and here I am. I just get out of my car, and something doesn't feel right. I can hear my dogs in the house going nuts. Something doesn't feel right. All of a sudden, all these flashlights in my face, and all these SWAT dudes come out of my shrubs behind the car, around the
Stop.
side of the house. Yeah, they're on me. And they said, well, we had a 911 call come from this house. There was nobody in there. A 911 call came from this house, and we have already called animal control because
We're
whatever
gonna
you got
go.
in there sounds like 3 bears
Yeah.
are killing somebody, and we thought, we're gonna have to shoot them, and we don't want to have to do them. I'm like, yeah, don't go in there and shoot my dogs, please. But what's going on here? I explained that I live there and that my wife's working and I was out with some friends and now I'm home, but there's nobody in the home but my dogs. Nobody could have called 911 from the house. They're all, well, no, we got one. We've traced it. It's to this house. And so I said, listen, this is what we got to do. You got to let me go in first. I'll get all my dogs wrangled into my master bedroom, which is that window right there. And I'll turn the light on. I'll open the blinds so you guys can look inside and see my dogs that are securely locked in there. Then I'll come back and let you in. And I don't care how many of you. You all can come in and scour my house if you want to. Only 2 of them came in, but I did just that. I let them come in, and the guys were going around the house. Never, there was. They thought maybe an intruder had got in. My dogs were killing him, and he got to the phone and called 911 to save himself.
Right.
But there
Right.
was nobody in there. Um,
Wow.
and so the guy, one of the cops, is in there, and he's looking around. He sees all my paranormal equipment. He sees, a couple of signs I have in there, "Ghost be gone," and yada yada yada. And he's all, What do you do?" I just told him what I did. He goes, no, what do you? And I said, I'm a veterinary technician at an animal hospital. He goes, no, what do you really do? What's that stuff? I'm all, well, my wife and I have been paranormal investigators for since as far back as I can remember, and I'm also in the deliverance ministry uh, field. He goes, so he didn't want to in front of his buddies come out with that he's into all of that, but he was giving me the look like something here. Place that call, and you better take care of your business. Hi, Rob. No disrespect intended, but I believe that Christ is the only one that can intervene and heal a person. Just my opinion. Absolutely, Rob. I have. You should get my book, Rob. And my second book comes out later on, like November of this year. It was supposed to come out late summer. Now it's going to be late fall, but it's ready to go. But there are many stories I have in there of personal experiences with extreme divine intervention. And many, many times Christ has helped me and healed me. My wife's a 3-time cancer survivor, wasn't expected to survive. And I'm telling you that the fact that she's still here and the last full body CT and MRI that we've done on her show no trace of any of the cancers anymore. Because one night I went when my wife was actually dying, and I knew that I was going to wake up in the morning laying next to her being dead in the bed. I snuck out and went to this all night prayer chapel around the corner, and I did something that my mother did before I was even born to ask for God to spare my father's life. He was on his deathbed, dying from an incurable disease in a Navy base hospital, and she crawled on her hands and knees in church all the way up to the altar and threw herself at the mercy of the court, if you will. I did the same thing that night and prayed for them to spare my wife's um, life. And at the time, I had left the field of deliverance ministry because I had come under attack a couple of times. I knew that my wife was a survivor of some extreme demonic attacks, so I did that. And when I came home that night, my phone was ringing. This is like 4 o'clock in the morning. My wife's sound asleep. My phone's ringing, so I answered it real quick. It was a friend of mine who I'd known him all my life since we were young kids, and I hadn't seen him in many, many years. But I knew he had moved to the East Coast and he was dying of advanced colon cancer. He was on his deathbed, just hours away from expiring, going on to heaven. He was an atheist, and he said on the phone to me, I needed to call you. He knew my wife was dying. He said, I wanted to call you to tell you that I just met God, and God wanted me to call you and tell you that Sharon's going to live and that you need to continue doing what you've been doing and fighting those responsible for what happened to her. So, I reached out to his family right away, letting him know that he found God at the very end, which, you know, they loved that. But he didn't lie to me, and I knew he wasn't lying to me, and I knew that he actually met God, and I had just talked to Jesus myself, and Sharon survived. So I agree with you 100%, Rob. And in my field, that's what it is. And I know you're a very spiritual person too, Susan. You're a. We argue on this. I always say like 7. You always say 5. But you are a many times over death survivor. I don't even like the term near death because if you die and you come back, you're a death survivor. You're not near death survivor, and you've had many of those. Um, so you have you've experienced your own divine intervention many times over.
Right.
And so, would you like to add anything onto what Rob said?
No, I think you covered it pretty good. And I like that people can come in and have their own opinion if they're willing to discuss it. I think that that's wonderful. I don't mind anyone's opinion. So yeah.
I also want to add, Rob, that many people ask me all the time, call me up and ask me, I need you to come to my house right now. I know there's a demon in my house, and it might just be a ghost or whatever they have going on. And I don't travel well. A lot of people call me, they're out of state, some of them in another country, even. I'm the hardworking blue collar guy that pretty much survives from paycheck to paycheck. When I'm not doing this, I'm a veterinary assistant. We don't make much money. My wife's the office manager at the same animal hospital. She's been there 20 years. So we are that true blue collar middle class family that gets by from paycheck to paycheck. And so I do a lot of counseling, and a lot of people don't realize that they are truly the ones that have the power. I don't have any magic powers. I'm not going to come over and wave a magic wand and make it all go away anyway. All I can do is put my arm around you, help you draw your line in the sand, and help you stand up against the bully. But I don't have any magic powers. But when I deal with the demonic, I have been blessed with the gift to be able to channel the Holy Spirit that comes through and takes care of all of that, for me and the client in these severe demonic hauntings. But I do nothing. I I have no magic powers. So it is all Christ for me. I agree 100%.
Right. You're
So
just the conduit.
I have
Yeah.
friends from all walks of the paranormal community, all walks of life under that umbrella. I've got friends that are witches, friends that are pagans, Jewish friends, Muslim friends, Hindu friends, Catholic friends, Christian friends, hardcore Bible thumping, dancing with the snakes up in the mountains, the Appalachian Mountain friends. I got them all. I love everybody. I don't judge.
Okay.
Your thing is your thing. You got to talk to everybody. At the very end, trust me, at the very end of this journey, we all will talk to God. And then you can you can deal with it then.
So I have a question for you. Do you think, going back to the 911 call from your house, do you think that that was a demonic setup? That
I don't know. It's I have
like so they could go in, shoot your their intention was to go shoot your dogs, thinking they were mauling someone inside. Say they go in, shoot your dogs. It's exactly what the demons in your house would have wanted. Totally, because they know how much you love your dogs and they go for what you love. Yeah.
yes, and at that time I wasn't uh, really experienced on how to battle these things, and many times not even experienced enough to recognize the warning signs. This is
Mhm.
way before uh, I got it, got on the path to be where I'm at today. So very possible because there's lots of ugly things have happened here before I learned how to put up that really strong hedge of protection around the place. And whenever issues do get a little weird, I can tell if it's just us. And you know what? Spirits in visitation, or some that are even attached, I believe, to the land here and to the home before Sharon and I even moved in. They're cool with us, and we're cool with them. I have, I have, for lack of a better term, I have spidey senses that go up when I know that there's something that is lurking around outside or has somehow found its way in here, and I need to deal with it right then and there. Um, but there was a time when I didn't know that. To this day, my wife and I don't sleep in our master bedroom. We are still sleeping on a California Queen mattress in our living room. We don't. We go into the master bedroom long enough to get something out of the closet if we need it, if there's something in that closet, or go to the master bedroom bathroom. I still use that shower. Sharon has her own bathroom, and there's a tub in there and all that. But we don't sleep in there anymore because of some of the things that we experienced in that room back in the day.
Right.
I'm sure it would be all okay to go back in there now, but since then, I've turned it into a second office and a storage place and all that sort of weird stuff. So, but we still sleep in the living room because of that reason. And
It
does
is
your
what it
dog? Have you
is.
noticed if your new puppy has noticed the spirits in your house?
They have. They've picked on him a little bit, and then I
Oh
have to yell at
no!
yeah.
Oh
I wake up, I hear
no!
this rummaging, and he's cowering in the corner, and I'm like, "Okay, not cool." leave
I
kids
almost wish
and
I didn't
pets
ask you
alone.
that question because
Mhm.
that upsets me. Hi Jeff, how are you two doing from the goat from Ohio, the greatest of all time? I didn't know you were the greatest of all time, Jeff. I thought that wasn't that Brady? The goat. We're doing fine, Jeff. Thank you for being here. God bless you, brother. I don't have a show without people like you that tune in and support us. So great. Hi, Charles. I've had two afterlife experiences and can tell everyone there is beautiful things to come for us. Yes, Sharon will tell you that too. Sharon has, you know, she died once of a severe asthma attack when she was much younger, crossed over, saw relatives and family members that had gone on before her, waving, beckoning her to come, and she heard the voice say, "It's not your time," and boom, she was sent back. And you too, Susan, um, can attest to this. And people don't want to come back. Almost get mad,
Well, when you
you know?
make it to the other side, you're like, "Yes, I made it," you know? And then you're like, "What? What? I have to go back with what? I don't wanna go back with them. They are cray. You want me to go back there?" And you're like, "No." And then you do. You know, I was able to see what I was gonna miss, how much my presence was going to mess up a certain, rhythm that was already predestined, and I realized, "Oh, that's not okay. That's gonna mess up a lot of things." By an early exit. So take that into consideration when you have the option. But oh, what was I going to ask you? Oh, it was about the dog.
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
don't like
she.
that either. You really,
No, I drew a line with that. It was like that's not cool because they do run around at that certain time, and um, it just is. The veil is just so thin, and it's hard to say exactly who it is and what's happening. So, I don't know. I just ignore it, and if it really makes me mad, then I get up there and I yell and scold them. "If I have to
yeah.
come out there, you're in trouble." So,
Poor little guy,
I know,
Winston. Poor little one.
so I
I'll
bring
say
him to my room and I let him sleep there, but I don't want him to get comfortable because he snores, and I sleep so lightly that I'm like,
oh, you're done. You're a goner.
"Oh,
If they're snoring at 6 months,
I
it's
hate
like sawing a tree down when they're
it."
4, 5, and they get mastiff type breeds and Great Danes get gassy.
They
So
are, that is a
yeah,
thing. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Rob, I know I have
Mm,
spirits in my home and it freaks out my dogs. Yeah, my dogs well, I only have one left now. She's accustomed to it. Like she sees that apparition of Sharon sees the apparition of me, which turns into the apparition of the child that I have a picture of in my first book. And as that spirit walks through the house, my dog watches it. But she doesn't get freaked out. And I have other spirit animals here, and she sees them. And when it's a spirit animal, her tail will wag, and she
mhm.
get the little. Do you want to play, or are you just going to float through? Oh, you're floating through. Okay,
Right.
so it is what it is.
I think they learn, they adapt. Like even with like my grandkids, they adapt. They realize, "Oh, this is just the way this is here." And then they know they get comfortable unless it's something mean, but then you're going to feel that it's a negative something that's in the house. And then I put a kibosh to that right away. So, yeah. Even
If somebody's not like you or I, and it does freak them out to have these spirits in visitation, even if they're harmless,
mhm.
then would you recommend? This is a two-part question. Would you recommend they do something to try and get these spirits to move on, make a deal with them, and if disembodied human spirits hang around, some theorists feel they become after time, after a long period of time, it it's the hurt and the unhappiness of being
Their
here
personal
present.
suffering,
They
so to
turn
speak.
malevolent.
Oh, no. Well, it's like I think that they're people. They used to be people. So they're you're not going to be able to convince anybody on this plane that how to end their suffering if they want to suffer, right? You can't do that. We can't change anyone's mind. We can suggest, we can show them the light, I can't make anybody go there, but I can show them that light and I can go, okay, go now. Like we coax them to go, but we can't make them go to the light. And if they don't want to, they don't want to. And that's it. And so then they perpetuate their own. I don't think they amp up and get nasty the longer they're here. I don't think that's it because I've seen a lot of um some of the ships, the captains' wives hang out a lot. There was a lot of sorrow, suffering, illness in the New England area, and waiting for a loved one to come home left a lot of um, emotional energy, and they kind of still are waiting. But I don't see them being nasty as they're waiting, and it's been 300 years. I'm not seeing that. I'm just seeing that they're still suffering. They don't have to. And I think once you explain to them that they don't have to, they're like, "Oh, really? I can go?" I'm like, "Yeah, there, I'll help you go." They usually don't know, and I don't understand why they don't know. It just wasn't a concept until you explain it to them. And then there are some that just go, "No, this is my house. I'm not leaving." It's like, okay, well, these are my rules, you know. And I think that it's a boundary. Is teaching people boundaries on all levels is important. So,
I've been guilty of doing all three. I've had people before. I've told people before I'm trying to make a deal. I've even, shame on me a time or two. I've told people I thought they should move. I really hate doing that. But for the most part, I like to let the spirit know. I like to check and make sure the spirit even, like you said, knows it's even dead. And I will sometimes it can be a shock to them when I say introduce myself, and I say that I'm here with all respect. Do you know that you're dead? You are dead, and you do not, you now belong to the ages, and you do not belong in this world. You need to go where you are supposed to be now. And if they
mhm,
don't know where they're supposed to go, then that's when I start trying to channel and call in, all the warrior angels and guardian angels and spirit guides to come in and wrap this soul, this lost soul, up in their wings and carry them if they have to where they need to be. So, yeah, I've been guilty of doing all of that stuff, and sometimes the advice you get is not cool. But I think we're just, yeah, you're in a tough situation. You need your dog sitter occasionally. So you're gonna have to,
oh
yeah,
wow, it is what it is.
yeah. It is what it is.
So we had someone ask last time we were on, what is the difference between the Ouija board and table tipping as far as conjuring?
That's a great question. I'll let you
That
handle
was
that.
Yeah, that was a good question. And I was thinking about it, and other than um, training, there is none. There are most people that use a Ouija board are novice, fooling around 16-year-old kids, usually, right? I mean, that was 12-year-olds getting a hold of a Ouija board. So you're not knowing what you're doing. Um, you can't pick up a table and start tipping it. That's not going to work that way. Um, if it happens, that's very rare. But there are like I have a everyone will get a table tipping guide, and that guide helps with. So there's a lot of process um, that goes along with tipping a table. It just doesn't. You just don't pick up any table and make it move. There's there's a safety net involved and a power protection and making a connection and then practicing that connection. You're not a good table tipper the first time around. It takes practice, and so you make practice making that connection. There's trust between you and the guide on the other side that helps these souls come through to the table for their highest good and for my highest good or anyone else at the table. And they also Archangel Michael is there to make sure no shenanigans goes on. And sometimes something less than um, um, what's the word, I don't want to say less than perfect because that's not the word. It's just less than
Something a little lower vibrational, a little
Thank you.
mischievous.
Perfect. Yes, will slide its way through. And you can tell because you're like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, what's happening here? So that happened the last time I table tipped with this wonderful woman that also tips. And she was, I had trained her and she had trained with other people. So she's very trained. Um, but while we were tipping, something less than of higher vibration came through and gave us false information. And we've tried now 3 times to get back to tip again together, and something keeps coming up, and this time she got COVID. So a prayer out to her as well, please. And I will give you her name off
Yes,
camera, but
please do. I'll add her
yeah,
to. I'll add her with Barbara and put
yeah.
them both on the list tonight.
Yeah, she's lovely, lovely woman. And so we're trying to get to the bottom of it, and it's interesting how something keeps blocking us. So that makes me believe that there was more of a negative, mischievous entity behind that. So, but anyways, so if you had $1.2 million, would you buy the Conjuring house?
I was just about to reach over here and talk about a couple of locations, so you're already tapping into my energy here. Would I buy the Conjuring house? Um, Not if that's all the money I had left.
You already have a Conjuring house right there where you're sitting in it. You don't need another one.
uh, probably not. I think I don't know why. My answer is probably not.
Mm-mm,
Um,
I wouldn't.
A lot of people don't know, and I talk to people about this all the time. Someone, even to this day, someone might stumble upon the original The Conjuring movie, and it'd be the first time they see it. I'm the first person they call afterwards. They want to know, did you see that movie? Yeah. Did you like it? Loved it. What do you think about all the stuff that happened in there? And it freaks. It kind of makes them go like this when I go, well, did you know that a lot of that stuff never really happened? True story that the woman that wrote the 3 books that grew up in that home that wrote the 3 books about that story. That's the true stuff that happened in the Conjuring. All of that stuff. You know, very little of it in the movie did happen, and that Lorraine and Ed Warren really only were very minute in real life part of that story. So, and people are very surprised when I tell them that. And then I recommend they go read the real books. Hi, Rob. He's back. 1.7 million.
Oh,
Ooh.
I
And
missed a
I would
couple.
love to buy the Amityville house.
Oh,
Good for you. That's
you can
another
have
one I won't be buying. Yeah.
right. Lizzie Borden house, another one. You can have it.
Um,
I'm like,
yeah, I probably, these
yeah,
things lie dormant. The real bad ones lie dormant sometimes 20, 30, 50 years when you least expect it. And then everybody around you, your family and your animals and neighbors and friends, sometimes something about you kicks these things off and then everybody's in danger.
isn't
But I
that
want
interesting?
to, here's
Yeah,
this list here, and I know you live by there. One of the latest, very reputable, most haunted locations in America list came out. And in the top 5 are 2 locations in Salem.
interesting.
One is the House of Seven Gables.
Oh, the House of Seven Gables. Yeah, I've never been in there.
Oh, well, you got to go now. Halloween's
Now I
just around the
have to.
corner. And
Oh,
the
I
other
you
one is
know, I am not going on Halloween. That is Salem,
the Witch
Massachusetts, and
Hunt
Halloween. Oh,
Village.
what?
The Witch Hunt Village in
The
Salem.
Witch Hunt Village?
Yeah, in Salem.
Don't know where that is either in Salem.
Well, Halloween's just around the corner.
Okay.
And
What else
after,
is on that list?
oh, let's see. Well, it's
Your
funny
house. That's
that.
coming into number 3.
Mm. Well, a couple of places I've been to.
Okay.
One is they got the Psycho House, the real Psycho House, where Ed Gein lived, and I didn't know you could go there. So, who wants to go and visit and do an investigation at Ed Gein's home? That's creepy. The other one is the Dakota. The Dakota in New York City is one of the oldest huge apartment buildings in New York. Um, John Lennon lived there. He was murdered right out in front of that hotel.
Oh, okay.
Rosemary's Baby was filmed there.
Oh.
Um, Very, very, very off the charts haunted. I don't think you can just go in there and investigate, but people live there, so you can't even get a room and stay there. You got to live there. And I guess there's been famous people that have applied when an opening shows up. There have been people that have applied to live there that have been turned down. That's how exclusive it is to get in this place. Hi, Samantha. She says, "Will a ghost stop scaring you if you are nice to it?"
All right. So what
You got
is
5 minutes left. I'll let you handle that one.
okay, here we go. What is scaring you about what they're doing? Is it a noise? Is it something? Because if you know that it's there and you almost make it as if it were human, right? And you heard the noise, would that scare you? So probably not. But if they're opening and closing stuff, just I just think of it as like a human person, just like, okay, well, if you're going to open it, make sure you close it. Like, don't make work for me. That's the way I look at it. Like, I am tired enough. Do not make work for me. If you're gonna run around at night, make sure it's clean in the morning. Like, I don't care what you do. Just don't bother me. Don't ruin my sleep and clean up after yourself. Because then I get mad. So turn the tables. Don't be afraid. Don't give it fear. Don't
It
fear
is
it.
funny how they do feed off the fear. I know that's a
Oh, they
cliche
love
term
fear.
people throw around, but they really feed on that.
Yeah, it's okay to draw boundaries and talk to them and say, "Hey, I or ask them, "What are you doing? What do you want?" Half of that is communication. They're making a noise, so you stop to look. And if you stop to look and then run away, then they're like, "Oh, well, that didn't work. Maybe I'll do something bigger." you know? And so stop and ask it, "Is there something you need? How can I help you? What do you want?" Don't assume that they're suffering. They may not be suffering. It may be your grandmother just wants to say hi. You may have really active people that you've lost recently that like to come through. Yeah, be friends with them, Samantha. You'll enjoy it. They actually tend to be
Thank you,
helpful.
Samantha. Thank you for the question. Well, that's the five on the top of this list: Heaven,
Okay.
House of the Seven Gables,
Mhm.
Alcatraz, the
Ooh, that I'd
Dakota,
love to go to
yeah, the
Alcatraz.
Dakota in New York City, the Psycho House, and the Witch
Mhm.
Hunt Village in Salem. And
Okay.
Alcatraz was the place on that list that I went to. And here was my great plan in the just a couple of minutes I have left. Me and my friend planned on, he wasn't going to stay, but we took a boat out there. We took the whole tour. The plan was to just avoid everybody until the very end of the day, and we knew the very last boat was leaving to take whoever was on the island back to San Francisco, and I was going to hide and not take that boat. And then I was just going to be on the island by myself that night. And I
You're
wanted to go up.
crazy.
Yeah, I wanted to go up to the infirmary, which they had roped off because recently, before that visit,
Mhm.
activity was so off the charts up there that they had roped that area off. So I was going to go up there. But I'm here to tell, and I almost made it. I mean, everybody was boarding that boat. No one knew I was there. I had hid from the docents. I got to that staircase leading up to the infirmary,
Mhm.
and I got hit with a feeling like I I had never been hit with before, and just I didn't I can't remember ever not wanting to get out of a place that bad,
Wow.
and I actually ran out of there. Didn't pee or poop in my pants, which I've done before, but I ran out of there, and my friend was laughing at me when I came down. The docents were like, "Where'd you come from?" I'm all, I had to go to the bathroom and got lost, and yeah, I'm leaving. And I got on that boat and I left, and I chickened out and didn't stay the night by myself on Alcatraz. But I was
Yeah. No. Oh my gosh, that would have been horrible.
there. I love you.
Love you too.
Give your dog a big hug and a kiss for me.
I will.
And
What's
this
our
was
next date? Do we even know? Well, last Monday of
yeah.
every month.
Well, you and I, the last Monday of next month is September
September.
26th. But the last Monday in October is, of all nights, Halloween. You have an event that night, so we will not be doing Happy Meeting Monday, but I'll be here. Whether I'm by myself telling ghost stories or taking people's ghost stories and having them type in their story and sharing it, or maybe I
That'd
will
be
out of it. But I
fun.
will be here Halloween.
All
But
right.
I love you. Have a great. This is
Thank
nice
you.
that we didn't get too many calls tonight. I had a chance to finally catch up with you, although Get your questions ready for next Happy Medium Monday, guys. That's what Susan's here for, to
Well,
answer your
thank
psychic questions.
everybody
So
for or for texting in, and I appreciate it.
God
So,
bless you. I love you.
all right,
Kiss the dog. Give Mini Me a big hug.
all
Tell
right,
everybody on the team, Mass Hauntings, I said hi,
I
and I
will.
will be talking at you when I talk at you.
All right, see ya.
Good night, Susan. All right. Thank you all for being here. I will be here. Oh, no, I won't. This coming Friday and next Monday, I won't be here. I'm taking the long holiday weekend. Why, Reb? You going anywhere? No, because I'm broke and I can't afford to go anywhere. But it is a long holiday weekend, so happy Labor Day to everybody. But it's also my 20th wedding anniversary. I know, right? That's divine intervention. That's Jesus. How Sharon stayed with me for 20 years. But I will be back the following Friday, the 9th, September 9th, with Tara Vioska Mead. You all know her. Scrying medium, a member of Pacific Coast Paranormal. That's going to be a great show. So, I love you all. Thank you all for being here. I don't have a show without all of you. Have a great holiday weekend. Stay blessed. You're all on the prayer list. I want to thank Zach and Adrian Clayton, my co producers. Thank Things Network. Thank Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment. Thank you, Skeleton Key Network. Thank you to Pact, Podcasting for All Coming Together channel. For all podcasting, simulcasting my show. I love you all. Good night, Jack. Good night, Danny. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. God bless you all. Peace.